one way. Some get it, some don't. Some will, some won't. I told her pack light. We got a long flight. When we touch down, baby, gonna be a long night. Some get it, some don't. Some will, some won't.
We got
Yeah.
that song that we gonna debut the song on the when I release it. Right now, it ain't playing obviously because the technology, but it's gonna be the intro to the interview, and then we're gonna backdoor and have it playing on our way out too. So we're gonna make those edits as we go. So
For sure. For sure.
so to pop it off, Ben, as I like to do with all my guests, let's just start from the beginning. And the way I like to do it, you don't have to kind of rush into it, so we can take our time at each specific section. Obviously, some of the sections going to blend in together, but if we can just kind of start, let's just talk about um, you. It'll make sense as I get there. Let's talk about Eric and his upbringing.
Okay.
So like the beginning years, we don't even have to get to middle school yet. So early stages.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm just, average dude, from the hood, Parkway, DA, Tech Ghetto. I stayed in all three of them places. Man, just like to have fun, like to laugh, crack jokes. I always loved music. I guess I get it from my daddy for real. He used to always play all the different radio stations and all the oldies, Motown, all of that. He played rock and roll, Bob Marley, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Sade. So I grew up, pretty well rounded with music, and I used to just sing it, and that's really what it is. That's really where I
Okay.
got my music upbringing from.
Okay, and to piggyback on the upbringing part, let's talk about like the family dynamics of growing up. Of course, your dad, your mom, and you can
Yeah.
fill in the rest.
Yeah, I had a traditional household. Mom and dad was both in the house with me and my older brother. Um, he was married to her till she died, but the dynamic of it sounded like the picture perfect movie situation, but really it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? We all know coming from our community, sometimes you got to break generational curses. So I feel like my dad broke some of the generational curses from what he didn't get, from him having a stepdad, and my dad's like I think 77 now. So how you was treated back then was way different from what people might experience, what I'm saying, in our lifetime. So um it's not what you would think it was. He did give me the game on some things, but it was other things that, I didn't. So I just tried to break that cycle when I had my boys, I just tried to take the next step. So I guess you could say I was a mama's boy, you know. It's levels to that. It's levels to that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um,
it's most definitely levels.
she definitely made sure me and my brother was independent. She always taught us how to wash our clothes, fold our clothes, iron, cook, clean. That way we could be helpful whenever we decided to meet somebody or get married one day or do stuff with our kids or who whatever young lady we might be seeing. She wanted us to not be helpless in a sense. So I really appreciate that, especially the older I get. And it's really valuable, man, because I know it's a lot of men that may not know how to do some of those household things or whatever. So yeah, and I mean, like I said, it's only me and my older brother. I'm the baby. I'm the baby of the whole family, the youngest grandchild. So uh yeah, so I guess I got away with some stuff. That's
Ah,
what my
yeah,
brother say.
that's how it always gonna be. Because the first kid, you go, then the second kid, you got a little give and take, and you know what kind of worked, what didn't work. So as they said, you're not gonna ever be the same parent to all your kids. I mean, just because the dynamics of who you are changes, the dynamics of how parenting works for different kids changes. So I mean, as you said, you got away with probably way, way more than he did.
Yeah, that's what he say. What he say. And I guess with all the cousins, I mean, I guess I got to sneak and hang with them sometimes. My dad didn't catch me, but I tried to sneak every time I could and hang with them. And then, like we all grown now, so I'm still the baby, but we all grown now, so it's a little different. But time flies, man. That's all I can really say. Time
Time
flies.
flies. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah,
Speaking of time flies, let's touch on this a little bit. For those who don't know, obviously I speak on the Bay Block Boys a lot, and that's just like from the people that was there from day one, still there. Not, and we'll get into this later too. Is not to say the Swiss is not still there, but these are just people that was always there that I remember. But I always like to let people know that Swiss is a member of the Bay Block. So let's talk about some of your fondest memories of the Bay Block, kind of when you moved, whenever you left. Let's touch on that a little bit.
man. As far as I can remember, I know my grandma was two houses down from your grandma. Uh, I think like sixth grade, Bryson moved in across the street. Um, A Rich stayed down the street. I didn't know what house he stayed in. I just would always talk to him when I see him walking by. Q Lou was right there. I knew A Lou stayed on that little half street right there. His grandma,
Astor.
my grandma was cool. So as the years went by, I started seeing more and more connections to people that I knew on the block. T Reg.
Hmm.
I know I'm missing some people, man, but
That's pretty much it. Like as far as us is concerned, it's way
yeah,
more. But like the people that kind of always interacted is us.
yeah. And then I didn't never know why I only saw y'all on the block. I'm like, I don't never see these dudes at school. Then I found out I went to Bozeman. Me and Bryson went to Bozeman, and y'all went to Parkway. So I was like, that's why I don't never see him.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just remember, used to be hooping. You would come down there with the new sneakers, and you would always have that little shoe cleaner with the little bristles on the brush, and used to do the little half court Steph Curry shots.
By
You
the way,
come,
y'all, we 40 basically. So this was before Steph Curry made it popular, by the way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a goal in my grandma backyard. Tuki would come back there. We had a little garden back there. He'd go to the edge of the garden, shoot that little half court shot, and then be like, "Oh, I gotta go home." I was like, "This dude here, man." So I thought, a kid, I'm thinking like, "Man, this dude cold. Like, I bet he gonna be raw in basketball." And then to find out he loved football. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was hard for me to accept. I'm just like, man, you love football, but you were shooting half court shots. But
yeah. Hey, like I
um,
tell the story to people, man, I just felt like in any sport you play, you should be able to dominate. And in my mind, dominating was being able to dunk. And
yeah,
as you know, I wasn't dunking. I think I've dunked two times in my life off some alleys. And you know, coming from what school we went to, boys was
yeah,
dunking.
yeah,
Like, so
yeah,
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let that one slide.
yeah. Um, man, and then I used to. Sometimes I get out there and play football with y'all in the street. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then. But I was more so just riding my bike, just chilling. Um, yeah, that's it, man. It was a cool block. People used to drive down the block fast sometimes. A lot of cool times, man. Water gun fights, water balloons, popping fireworks out on the block. Yeah, and then it seemed like when I moved into my grandma's house, that's when everybody else had kind of moved away. Man, that's been such a long time ago, man.
Yeah,
Man, it's been a long time. But I think everybody had
long.
moved out of the city pretty much. I think maybe T Reg was still there. I think maybe he was
Yeah,
still
T
there.
Reg was for sure still there.
Still there.
But
So
before we leave this though, because you said something and it brought back a memory, and I know you're gonna remember this. You was talking about riding bikes, man. Remember that little dip thing that was right there? Everybody used to try to
yeah.
ride and
Right there by the fence. Yeah. The sidewalk was like uneven.
yeah. Everybody used to
Yeah.
always try to ride and hit that boy.
Man, I used to ride my bike and my handlebars would go down every time I hit that little dip.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I
but
still
it's still
remember it
there.
like it was yesterday, man. I mean, like I said, I don't really walk the streets that much, but I'm
Yeah,
willing to bet it's probably still
yeah, it was
there.
still there, man. It's still there.
Man, the good old days, man.
Hmm.
Okay. So we kind of touched on the Bay block. So as you'll see, it's not really in chronological order, but it's pretty close. So anytime you feel you need to segue to something else, we can do so. But the way that I be having the structure, that kind of flows kind of together. So
Okay, cool,
um
cool.
I started the interview off by saying Eric purposefully, but
Yeah.
so now let's get into Swiss. When did the
Okay.
Swiss come about?
Well,
Because if I
man,
remember right, didn't we used to call you Cheese too?
yeah, yeah. So I had a childhood nickname of Cheese. I don't know how it come about. Everybody in the hood got a nickname. Mine was Cheese. So um, I went to junior high with a few people, and that's what they was calling me. So all the new people, that's what they knew me as. They didn't even know my real name, and it just kind of stuck with me, man. For real, you know what I'm saying? I was like, well, you could have a worse nickname than that, so I just kind of rolled with it. And then I started when I started trying to sing R&B, probably was about 15, 16. That's when I made the transition to Swiss. I said, well, I still want people to kind of know who I am if they hear this and don't see my face. So that's why I chose Swiss. And it worked out pretty seamlessly, pretty much, man. I mean, my face didn't probably change too much from when I was a kid. I just got a beard, you know what I'm saying, goatee and stuff.
Hmm.
Pretty much got a similar face. So a lot of people to this day, man, they see me from back in the day. They may call me that, you know what I'm saying?
And some
Uh,
people probably don't even know your name is Eric.
yeah, they don't know. Well, I guess more people now because Facebook and stuff like that. But especially if you wasn't in my grade or my classmate or whatever. But yeah, so I don't got no crazy story as to how that happened, how they called me Cheese, but I just got it and it just stuck with me, man.
But see, that's the good thing though, because a lot of people either, I mean, I don't want to say it's not a cool story, but just don't have a story.
Yeah.
But the origin of it is still there, though. Like that people just
Hmm.
started calling you that for whatever reason. And the good
Hmm.
thing is you were able to keep the name and change or adapt it to, something that was fitting, at the time,
Yeah.
besides just cheese, which is
Yeah.
ironically it's still cheese. But
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but it's still
Yeah.
cool that how that came about. And you touched on something which, as I said, it'd be segueing perfect. You said the R&B, but let's talk about choir because I think that's where a lot of people probably know who you were or probably ran across your paths at some form with that being how they your introduction to them.
Yeah. Um, Man. Yeah, I was in choir in elementary. I did that. Um, and that was before I really realized how much I love music. I just knew that I was good at it and I like to do it. And they had this thing back in the day called All City Choir. I don't know if you remember that. It was like the best
Yep.
people from each choir, from each school would
Mm-hmm.
go together. And then I just remember one year I was doing that at Monterey. Um, and you know what's crazy? The person I'm finna say who was there with me, Torian Green.
Torian
He was
Green.
the other
Ah.
person they picked. I think we went back to back years. He might not even remember that. But yeah, we had that. It was like an all day event on a Saturday in Monterey. And I don't ever remember the big performance. I just remember the practice. I don't remember what the big performance looked like or remember that. I just remember the practice. And I remember Torian was there. And crazy enough, I went to Dunbar and most of my classmates went to Alderson. But I didn't do choir in middle school. I don't know why. I think I had enough of it all them years in elementary, and I didn't get back into it until 11th grade. But when I got back to it, it was on and popping.
And to
Uh,
kind of piggyback on that, because we didn't really touch on this, but what was the impact of choir singing and all that in church? Because I know you grew
um,
up in church for sure. So can you kind
yeah.
of talk about how
Um,
those things intersected?
I was like, I was the dude at church that could sing, but people didn't know I could sing. They didn't know. They didn't really know that. I didn't really showcase that. I used to be shy. So like people wouldn't know it was me. I wasn't doing the most. I wasn't hitting a bunch of crazy notes. They didn't know I was just singing regular. And then, but I took that and I took what I learned from choir and learned from the choir teachers. and just applied it to my music, man. And it just, I didn't know I had a gift as far as being had that ear for music, be able to write, vocal coach, write for other people, be creative. It just all started flowing, and I just used all the knowledge I had gained over the years, and just kept working and kept working and kept working. And um, yeah, I know we always see the big interviews on the R&B Money podcast or whatever podcast shows you watch to have your music artists on there about writers. And I know I wasn't on the mainstream industry level, but on the underground industry level, I did a lot of the same things they did as far as just writing and writing and writing and writing and writing and keep getting better. And um, that's really how it is, man. You just gotta grind. You know, you just gotta get it out the mud. And that's pretty much my story as far as that. And I was in choir with another Bay Block boy, Beezy. We was in choir together, doing damage. And we just, man, we just started singing. I don't even remember how it happened. We just decided to start trying to make some music, man, one day. And with another guy that was in choir who's a little younger than us, Truth, our engineer, you know,
Hmm.
we was doing music with him. And man, this is crazy. We was recording on a boom box, like the big speakers, the cassette tape, got the little plug for the microphone.
Yep.
I think it was like '02, '03. Uh we just had he made the beat, we played it, we sang the hook live, sang the verses live. It was crazy, bro. Like we really came from started from the bottom, now we're here, man. Like,
Yeah, like from nothing.
man, man, I think I still got them tapes somewhere, man. It's crazy, man. So you know, some people, you know, don't have that origin story of really truly starting from the bottom of their craft and having to go through every level to get to where they making great music and stuff now. But I definitely got that story. And yeah, I don't want to jump ahead for the next question
Yeah,
you
yeah,
may
yeah.
ask.
Don't jump
So
ahead. Don't jump ahead
uh
because you know it's coming. You don't even got to jump
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
So we might, well, I don't want to say you don't have. We don't want to jump ahead because we're gonna go right into it. Let me see. Boy, I can't even write. Oh, that's what it say. I can't read my writing. But since we was already there, we can kind of talk about. We can expand on the music and how the connection with Mel came about.
Okay. I got to just do a little shout out. You know, every time it like I always be having on that yes lower facts only gear, man. It
Yeah.
don't be no preconceived thing. You know what I'm saying? It just be I just like how I feel, man. So if you ain't rocking with your boy Toop Dog on that big play, facts only lets yes Lord keep that same
I
energy.
appreciate it. I
You know.
appreciate it.
I always say this. I'm one of the official ambassadors. I'm one of them ones. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we
So
been said that for sure. Like
yeah,
he
yeah,
been supporting. He been supporting. When the
yeah.
logo wasn't even with the box yet. He
Hey
been repping.
man, hey, I was wearing them first generation T-shirts, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
he the boy
sure.
that came up, man. That cloth, hey man, it's right now. It's right, man. It's right, man. Yeah, but man, I heard of this dude named Lil Mel. I was going to Monterey, and I think I heard that song. I don't even know the song. He just was talking about uh everything that I ride is chrome, 20-inch rim cellular phones. That's the song I heard. And then I saw the picture and I was like, oh, I like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I like this dude. So I was telling Bryson, I was like, hey man, you heard of this dude named Lil Mel? Ah man, I like his music, man. Where he from? D Town? He was like, nah. He like, I know him. I said, bro, quit playing, bro. You don't know him. He like, nah, I know him, bro. He go to Estacada. I said, bro, he not from Lubbock, bro. Like, we for real, man. Where you know him from? He was like, he go to Estacada. I'll take you to his house. I said, okay, bet, say less. Cause I want to buy an album, you know what I'm saying? So he took me over there. I got to meet him. He didn't have no albums on him. And then I was hey, Bryson gonna kill me for saying this little story, but he was already kind of working with him on music on the cool, but he was treating it like a hobby. So it was a perfect opportunity. Mel gave him that lecture and was like, man, it's gonna be a career or a hobby. I never forget that because he took us inside and he was playing some beats he had been making for him, some R&B beats. Yeah, in case y'all didn't know, Mel used to be on them beats.
Yep, like a mug.
Uh, and I was just like looking at Beezy like, oh man, you like know this dude for real. Like you really can be doing a little more than you doing. So me and Mel really was kind of tag teaming Bryson, like, man, get serious with this stuff. And excuse me, it just kind of took a life of its own, man. We just naturally gravitated to each other. We was hungry, we was ambitious, we was young, we was ready to hustle, ready to grind for that music, and just kind of morphed into us having our own label. After Mel's contract was up, he was with Time Loss and he was with Platinum West, and we formed our own for show entertainment. And
Hmm.
yeah, now we here decades later. You know what I'm saying? Some OGs in the game. You know, but we at the top of our game still though. So, uh,
Yeah,
man,
like he said, I got to take a pause break and say, we can say what we want to say, and we always give kudos and props to the people that come before us because they paved the way. But when it come to R&B and we talking about catalogs, we talking about producing, ain't nobody messing with Swiss, man. Let's just be honest. We can talk about West Texas as a whole. We don't even got to say Lubbock. It's West Texas as a whole. So yeah, I know a lot of people get on Facebook and ask who do R&B and all that, and I'm like, y'all don't
yeah,
gotta ask. Y'all know. Y'all
yeah.
just want a different answer.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
appreciate the love, man. You know, I know I'm the old guy on the block. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the new kid on the block, so I know you stick around long enough, you go from the hero to the villain. You know what I'm saying? Or just underrated, whatever. But
Yeah.
I still love what I do, and I know some of my fans that heard my earlier music may have not heard me now, so I get to reintroduce myself to people, and then I always try to expand my fan base to anybody that loves music. It's we used to have an engineer back in the day. He was like a punk rock guy. That was his genre. So they would have those man, them real aggressive mosh pits that you see on TV and stuff back in the day. Like, hey, we experienced that stuff, bro. Like, but the music was pure, the music was good, the vibe was good. So we would be able to perform our music at they shows and end up gaining some new fans, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa. We ended up getting to understand, what their music was about and they vibes, and it's all just having a good time. So that was probably one of the best crossover experiences I ever had was with when we did that. It was called Ghetto Punk Studio. Shout out Fatty Fab. I know he probably gonna see this
Yeah. Old ghetto
interview.
punk.
Yeah, so um yeah, man, I want to shout out a few people, man, that I've worked with it throughout my career. I want to shout out we already said Truth. He a
Gotta
bad
say,
boy. Hey, he
truth
a
on the
bad boy.
beat.
Hey, he a bad boy, man. With that recording, with them making them beats, arranging them beats, Psycho. Um,
Psycho, beat, boss.
Mel. You know, he was a bad boy on them beats, on that writing, on a lot of the business aspects of the music and creating a business. Let me see who else I worked with closely. I've always worked on and off with Tanya. You know what I'm saying? Um, One of my earlier influences was, Strictly Business.
Of course, of course.
Raymond Bud Gant. You know what I'm saying? We used to walk down the hallway singing that song, singing that "Do You Want to Roll." me and
Everybody, they
yeah,
had the
me and
sleeve.
yeah, me and
Man,
Beasley wore that out, man. We used to sing that and do that, and I was like, well, if these guys can make an album, then we sure can make an album. You know what I'm saying? And it took us a long time to do it because Beezy moved away, so we had our solo careers, but we just had that album out a couple years ago, Two of a Kind. It was a classic, and um, yeah, and it's so many people that I work with, but Quisha B, Shanice, um, Serene. Well, he goes by Nomad now. I keep calling him Serene.
Yeah, Nomad, baby.
Marquise, LT the Don, uh, Creta Ye, Yellow Boy. Back when he was doing rapping, we did some things with him. Um, Stephanie Washington. Now she with the Steppers. She used to go by Shouty.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, people probably ain't don't remember that, but I know you was around for that play.
Yep.
Man, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anybody else that was part of our camp from back then.
Wasn't she on that song Gotta Be?
Yeah, that was a big, big, big
Yeah,
hood
yeah,
record,
yeah.
man. Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, man, we didn't even realize how many people was rocking with that song until we did that Juneteenth show, and she put the mic in the crowd, and everybody was just rocking with her. I was like, yeah, hard work pay off, man. We used to have that street team. We was going to grind door to door, putting the postcards on your windshield wipers. I was going door to door selling CDs, handing out flyers, bro. Like we putting posters on the light poles, telephone poles, in the gas stations, wherever, man. With that groundwork, man, it's really do what it do.
It really did. That's why all them units was being sold and the parties were selling out because y'all actually
hmm
was on the ground, had teams, but y'all was actually doing it too as the
Man,
artist. So it's hard to
yeah,
not want to support when you see an artist out there doing the grinding and stuff as well. So
uh-huh, yeah, man. And I just remembered a couple people we worked with. Ben, he used to be called the Magician. If he see this, if people know who I'm talking about. Um, we worked with Slim.
Slim, baby.
Adam Hernandez. He's political now. We worked with him was on the beats, engineering. Also, we still rock with him on the graphics, man. He a bad boy on them graphics.
Mm-hmm.
DJ City, you know what I'm saying? DJ Matrix, you know what I'm saying? Man, I'm going back, man.
Yeah.
Man, you know, and then the upcoming people or the people that's doing it now, of course, DJ Shawty and DJ Super. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If I miss y'all, forgive me. I don't work with so many DJs and so many producers and so many artists over the years, but I'm just trying to think of the people we work with closely. Um, yeah, man. So if we ever went to your studio, we worked with you or wrote a hook or did a show, appreciate the love. We still let it. Um, Speaking of that, yes, I'm still an active artist. Uh, my new latest R&B album called Love Affair will be out shortly. It's my best work. If you haven't heard what I did, the group album Two of a Kind with Beezy, it's out on all platforms. It's called SWB Swiss and Beezy, Two of a Kind.
SWB, real.
Um, yeah, so like I said, Love Affair is my best album, my best solo album. It'll be out shortly. Um, Two singles out right now. Time featuring Lil Mev. It's out on all platforms. Believer featuring Quisha B. It's out on all platforms. Go check it out. Burners. Yeah, play. We're gonna have a big summer, man. Big. We're gonna have a big summer, man. Shout out Ashley Love. She's on her second album right now. So if you haven't checked that out, you need to go check that out. Uh, yeah, I got Ashley Love on the album. Quisha B, Mev, LT, Tanya, Beezy. Um, Kind of kept it in house. But it's a classic, bro. Like, and got yours truly on there, which they will be able to see that shortly. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Y'all gonna hear me on the track. I know some of y'all was watching the snap that one day and was
Yeah.
like, "What is he doing in the booth?" Well, you finna find
Mhm.
out, baby. It's actually finna drop tomorrow. Once this
Yes.
airs, we dropping it. So just go ahead and get ready.
Yes, sir. So
Well,
yeah.
go ahead. Sorry, sorry.
No, that's it.
Um, I don't want to take this quick left turn, but I have to for multiple reasons.
Okay.
But the number one reason is because I hate that we share this, but we do share this. So I like for people to touch on it and let people know how it impacted your life and how things change. So
Okay.
as you kind of started off the conversation, you was talking about your mom. So if
Oh
you
yeah.
can kind of explain how being a mama's boy and losing your mom like impacted your life.
Man, man, that was probably the worst year of my life, man. I had so many personal things happen to me. Um, yeah, it was a big storm that year, bro. I had like four major things happen to me. None of them as big as that.
Yeah.
Um, I did know my mom was sick, but I didn't know right away. So by the time her and my dad told me, it wasn't too late to save her, but they had already made up their minds that, she didn't want to be on dialysis, or she didn't want to. I wanted to get tested to see if I could match her to give her a kidney. She didn't want that. She told me, "No, you never know what you gonna need for your kids." She was satisfied with her decision that her and my dad made, and so I just, I had a great relationship with her. We talked often, talked all the time. She knew my kids, loved them to death. They loved her to death. Uh, it kind of felt like when I lost her, it kind of felt like I needed her the most. That was just my mind. That was just me and my mind, just wanting my mom to be there. Um, and now I look up and it's like August 1st will be 9 years since that. And I mean, man, when time start flying, it start flying.
Flying.
You go through a lot of changes emotionally. Um, you're vulnerable in a different way. Um, I can describe it like this. On movies, it's always a sad part of a movie. And I used to be like, "How man, they got this whole weak, sad part of this movie. Man, they could do without that." It hit different, bro. It hit different. Y'all don't even got to be really sad about the movie. It's just the way the actors are and the music start hitting and the way the camera cutting, and yeah, it hit different, bro. It hit different. So now I understand why they have those different types of parts in movies and stuff like that. And I mean, I guess it helped me become more vulnerable in that way.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, I had the close relationship to my mom and not with my dad, but I just trusted the Lord, bro, honestly. And I was like, I'm gonna just trust you. And it's helped me and my dad build our relationship up way better than what it was. And it wasn't
Hmm.
because we had a negative relationship, it just wasn't a strong relationship. So we just had to pull together and now you like I said, you look up and it's 9 years later and I had to move forward, bro, because it was like, man, my mom will never get to see my wife when I get married, or if I have another kid, she'll never get to meet her. It was a big mental hurdle I had to get over. And I thank my wife every day because she been there with me every step of the way. She didn't get to know my mom, but um, through me telling her some of my mental hurdles over dealing with that, she's really helped me overcome that. And I don't have no regrets, bro. Like, my little daughter Kennedy, you know what I'm saying, your niece, and
Lady King.
man, she is everything that I could ever want or dream. It's not to be too scriptural right now, biblical, but it's a scripture in the Bible that tells you that God will bless you more than you can dream or imagine, exceedingly abundant. And
Hmm.
that's how I can explain my daughter. It's like if somebody said you got a wish, you can wish however she'll look, laugh, act, personality. I couldn't have created her no better. I couldn't have wished for her to be better than what she is. Like she was meant to be here, man. And like I'm glad I got over those mental hurdles because I'd have been really missing a bundle of joy, man. So um it teach you how to grow. Um, and I just used it to teach my boys, Davion and Preston. I used them to teach them that sometimes, things in life happen unexpectedly. So you might want to spend your time looking at life glass half full versus half empty.
Better be
Ye-
optimistic than pessimistic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would have wanted to have my mom, here to see me get married and see my kids, my son graduate and Kennedy be born and meet my wife. But um, I said, hey, y'all know her. Y'all can tell y'all sister about her just like I can. Um, and this, what I wear around my neck, my wife actually got this made for me. It's a little piece with a little stone, and inside it got my mom's ashes. So
Oh,
she got
okay.
that made for me and my brother. So anytime I want to be near her, I just keep it with me. And yeah, so like we said, me and you are part of that club of people that have lost their mom. And yeah, I would like to hear your experience, man.
Yeah, mine, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, I was 6 years old when my mom died. So I do remember vividly being with her all the time. I do remember that she was about to have my brother. I mean, obviously, time has gone by. That was in 1992. So um, I don't remember if it was the next month, the next day, the next week. I know it was about to happen pretty soon. So I just remember waking up. She was on the middle of the floor. And I went to school, and then my uncle and my grandpa picked me up, told me she died, and so like my life has just always been different since then. But fortunately for me, my grandparents raised me. Like my grandma, when I interviewed her, she told a story about like once my mom died and she took over. She prayed to God and gave me to God, to protect me and carry me
Hmm.
throughout my life. So um, all the memories that I can remember vividly was just always being with my mom, always listening to music, just being everywhere she was. But once again, I only had 6 years to experience that, and that was 34 years ago now, so
Yeah.
but obviously we did have a good relationship, and that's why when you started the podcast by saying that you was a mama's boy, I most definitely was too. Me and my dad
Yeah.
always had a good relationship. It's much better now, and it wasn't due to like my mom dying because she died when I was 6. So he's always been there, but just as I've gotten older, we've just had a better relationship, and most of the time it was just because we just were different. Like he into painting cars and working on cars, I'm into sports. It's just like total two different worlds.
Yeah.
But I think most of that is because my mom, but unfortunately, I never got the chance to talk to her about that. She actually had a full ride scholarship to Texas Tech for track. She
Oh,
did
okay.
shot put and
Okay.
discus, but I really don't remember because once again, it's so long ago. I don't know if it was because she had me or she got pregnant at Tech. Like that part is kind of great for me, but I just know she wasn't able to fulfill those things because I came into the picture. So, but
Yeah.
yes, that's why I always say, fortunately, unfortunately, nobody want their mom to die. But if you have to lose somebody, losing them at 6 versus 30 or 6 versus 40, it's just different. So, but as you
Yeah.
said, I still do have my moments where I wonder, like, okay, I wonder how my mom would think, or what my mom would think of me, or she didn't get to see my daughter being born, So those type of things always go through my mind. So yeah,
Yeah.
losing a parent is just it's different, as you said. It just hit different, everything. So
Yeah. 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 I mean, and I think about my grandma. My dad's mom, she's still alive. I went to visit her last year. She's like 99, I think. You know what I'm saying? So he can't even relate to me on that.
exactly.
So it's a tricky thing, and I know no matter how old you get, you wouldn't want to lose your mom, but
No.
I think it hit different at different times in your life.
Yeah.
Because you
And it
don't get
depends on what,
to,
like you said, what you going through too. Like I think
yeah,
that's you said something very key earlier, that the hardest part of your life, you had multiple things going on. Not as
yeah.
big as that, but when you combine all of those things, that's a lot.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, but like I say, it's one of them things. It's such a big thing. You just gotta accept that it's happening. Put your trust in the Lord and take it a day at a time. That's what I did. I just took it a day at a time, man. I didn't try to rush the grieving process. I just took it a day at a time, man. And it paid off because you once you heal and you move forward, you truly heal. You're not it's not like you put a band-aid over it, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
anything can just, reopen that wound. So I advise that to anybody that's going through that pain or just lost somebody and um, take it a day at a time, which, actually, ironically, me and my family, we're going through something like that now. We've had two deaths in the last 90 days, so we're still dealing with the legal aspect of one of those situations and
Hmm.
it's a lot, I just, like I said, I just take it a day at a time, be there to support my wife and my family and um, put my trust in the Lord, and really that's it, bro. I know everybody goes through things, bad things happen to everybody. Um, sometimes it's your storm, sometimes it's not, so
Yeah, I heard somebody say something the other day that said you either in the storm, just got out the storm, or about to face the storm. Like,
yes.
so that's basically what it is. That's how life works. But as my grandma said when I had on her as well, like if you gonna pray, don't worry, and if you're gonna worry, don't pray.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah, for sure.
gotta put your trust in the big man upstairs and know it's a purpose for it. Obviously, when you're in the middle of that storm, you don't understand why you question things, but hey, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's gonna do what it's gonna do.
Yeah. When you in a storm, you can't see the things unfolding. But when somebody else is in a storm, you kind of can see. Or if you've already been there, you can kind of see.
Hmm.
And ironically, my wife is going through a storm in her life the same years that I was going through it. Her early 30s. I was going through back to back to back things, and that's the same thing happening to her. And I was just explaining that to her. I'm like, man, I know you probably don't feel it. I like, but you gonna make it through it. I said it's a reason why everything is happening. You're not able to see it. We're not able to see the whole picture right now. But trust me, you just stick to your guns and trust in him, and you'll be delivered. And I fully believe that, man. Like, but you gotta believe.
Yeah, you
You
got
gotta
to.
believe. You can't put your hands on the wheel. Like you gotta let the Lord take over, and let His will be done. At the end of the day, it's not about what
Yeah,
you want.
and most definitely not about what we want.
Nah, if you waiting for that result, then you gonna forever be disappointed. Like,
Hmm.
yeah. So
Well, like I said, I know sometimes it's bringing up or peeling back those wounds, but I think it's always good to talk about it for one because it's good to release some of those things, but two for other people that unfortunately in our club they can relate to it and understand like yeah it's a process to go through it, so that's why I always like to touch on that. But something
uh,
that you said multiple times, which was the next segue, and it's like three kind of back to back that kind of tie in together. You kept saying the relationships. So if you can kind of touch on your relationships and how you become, obviously you're married now, the relationship you have with your kids, and then the last part is how our relationship kind of was created and where we at now too.
okay. You said the relationship I got with my kids.
Well, first is just the relationships that you had, and obviously to get you to the point of being married, and
Oh,
then
okay,
the
okay.
relationship you have with your kids,
Yeah.
and then our relationship that we have.
Okay. Yeah, I mean I didn't have no whole lot of relationships. I had a handful.
And that's why I brought that up because I like the fact that Swiss, a R&B guy that could have really, really been
Yeah.
crazy and wilding out, but he always been a
Yeah.
good guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would definitely say that I always knew who I was. I didn't know everything about myself when I was a young man, but I knew I couldn't fall for peer pressure. I wasn't gonna change who I was because of the group I was around or because my best friend is one way or I'm this way or it's popular to do this. I always knew I was comfortable in my own skin. Um, I will say that if I would have had a certain relationship with my dad, on the do's and don'ts of some things. I do know I wouldn't have made some of those mistakes I did make in my late teens, early 20s. Um, but growing older, I understand he may not have knew how to communicate certain things to me. Especially if he wasn't given that game. I think he looked at it more like he made it without certain things, X, Y, and Z, so I would be okay. Um, so, like I said, all I could do is charge that to the game and then take the next step, breaking that generational curse with my kids. Um, I know people always say love is blind. I wasn't never the type of cat that like fall in love immediately or overnight. Um, I just let stuff kind of happen organically. Um, and yeah, I'm the type of person to where if I'm with somebody and I'm rocking and we tight, I'm cool with it. I don't have a problem being a one woman man, at all.
And
And
that's
that is
why I
something.
commend you, brother. I commend you.
And I mean, like if I'm in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm in a committed relationship, then I'm capable of doing that, and I won't feel no kind of way if the relationship end. I won't feel like, oh man, I'm missing out. If I'm focused and locked in on that person that we got going on, then I'm locked in on them. If I'm single, I'm single. But I always just kind of I never had too much going on at one time. Um, Never been that kind of guy. I just be chilling, you know what I'm saying? Mingle here, mingle there, whatever the case is. Uh, and I would just say, man, like my wife now, Jazz, we was friends first, um, on a lot of levels, and never was trying to be romantic with her or flirting or nothing like that. Like it just was crazy because I was in a relationship trying to work that out. She was in a relationship trying to work that out, so we was couldn't have been further away from each other as far as trying to be with each other. And people used to always make us be together when we couldn't have been no more further apart. And
Mm-hmm.
then lo and behold, you fast forward through time, we have an opportunity to actually be with each other and start talking and dating and everything. And I was like, well, it is what it is. I like her, she like me, and it's just crazy when people try to make you be with somebody before you was even with them, and then you end up with them, and then you end up blossoming and blooming. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sometimes the
But
outside world can see what you don't see. Or
yeah,
you may can see it, but as you said, you going in as friends and you know she working on whatever she got and you got what you got, so you don't even look at it that way. You really
mm-hmm,
going in there like, man, we just cool. We both got our own little
yeah,
side stuff going on. So
mm-hmm, yeah, and I think that's why, and we've had our share of ups and downs, as as every
hmm
relationship has
yep.
things. You don't never know what your issue is gonna be. Um, Nobody don't know what their issue in a relationship is gonna be, but I think us having a good foundation as friends and all of the main things in life that are important priorities lined up for us. We took our time and built everything up step by step. And I think that's why we're able to maintain and grow together and not grow apart. I think that's the biggest thing. She had two little boys and I had two older boys. So we have a blended family. And we took our time in letting the boys have their bond together organically. We didn't want to force it, but we definitely wanted to make it a point of emphasis. Like, hey, if we're building our family together, we need to make sure that all of this can be brought together and it makes sense. And it definitely paid off by taking our time and you know making decisions. It definitely paid off. That's one of my greatest achievements. Is how we were able to blend our family pretty seamlessly. You know what I'm saying? And then we brought Kennedy in. She's the cherry on top. You know what I'm saying? She bossed all the boys around. She got her own relationship with everybody. It's funny. Uh, yeah. So like I said, me and my wife, we um approaching our third year of marriage, and we just we grow every day. We love each other more every day. We take our time, and we definitely are looking forward to our anniversary trip. Yeah, we need a little break from them kids.
Yeah, that's how it be, man. You gotta make
Yeah,
time for yourself or
yeah.
individually, but also when I say self, as the union that y'all are as well. So
Hmm. Yeah, man. And then me and your relationship, man. Like I said, we've been tight for as long as I can remember.
long,
And
long time.
then I don't remember how it happened. I just remember we all had a conversation about you wanting to come on board on the management side and the promotion side for the company. And lo and behold, we look up and it's like, gotta be 15 years later.
Yeah, yeah, at least.
Gotta be,
Yeah, because
man.
I was
And
about 25, yeah, roughly. Probably a little bit more before that, honestly.
yeah,
Because I
and
graduated with my master's at 27, and I remember that's when we was having the parties out there. So it
yeah,
might be almost at 20 for real. It might be about
yeah.
18. Yeah, but you're
Mhm.
right. At least 15 for sure.
And then I was just like, Play want to do that? I like, he sure. I was just like, he sure. I said, man, people be kind of hating on us sometimes, man. I don't know if he gonna want to deal with that, man. And
You know, my life on the other side was full of that too. So I
and we,
was used to it.
yeah, we told you that, and you was like, man, they ain't gonna worry about that, man. Like, I'm down with y'all. I'm down with y'all. I ain't gotta worry about it. Hey, man, you exceeded all expectations, bro. I didn't doubt you, but I just didn't know how much of that you wanted to deal with. And like I say, it just kind of feel like I don't know if you into the Batman movies, but it was I don't know if it was the Batman versus Superman movie, but he kept saying, if you be the hero long enough, you'll live long enough to see yourself turn into the villain.
I think that was Dark Knight, right? Well, I know Jay Z
It
made the
was one of
reference to
them.
it. He's like
Yeah,
Dark Knight, yeah, live long
yeah,
enough to see yourself become a yeah.
yeah. So it's kind of like that in life when you doing something so long. Um, I'm not saying we the villain, but I'm just saying, we not the new people doing the music no more. You know what I'm saying? It's a new generation. It's new people doing it. The music industry is changing, and we pretty much adapt and roll with the punches. We know how to recreate, reinvent ourselves, and we always um, keep in tune with what's going on. But yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, like I've enjoyed every step of the way, every show, every party, every performance, the hanging out. I've enjoyed it all, man. I mean, one of that time in San Angelo probably was, hey, that was one of my
When I
best.
sent the pictures the other day.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, that was that might have been the same trip. That might have
Oh,
been,
well, I forgot y'all did come to San Angelo prior to kind of like me. So, but the one that I'm talking about was the one I sent the pictures to.
yeah, yeah. We was there for multiple nights that time, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
yeah, y'all were. Yeah, we had a time
Yeah,
in San Angelo, man.
yeah, that was the one of them. That Yeah, I think that was for my birthday. I want to say. I think one of
Very
them
well
days it was
could have
my
been.
birthday. It was, yeah, we had a time, man. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Ooh, hey, that boy played, man. He was like a curator down there, man, with them events and them parties. Hey, man, he was the man. Like, hey, them parties was lit for real. Like before people were saying lit. Hey, man, it was lit down there, bro. Like,
Yeah, and I always give kudos to my people. Like, I know we had a falling out years ago, but Big Sid was doing the concerts and the parties. Shout out to my boy Bo. They was doing it, and then my boys Blackout, they was really doing it at the apartment complex. And so I'm smart and I believe in teamwork. So I had said, "Hey, bro, I'm doing the little club. Why don't y'all partner with me? Let's have a big party instead of at the apartments." And it was up. After that,
yeah,
once I got them Blackout boys on, it was a wrap. It was a wrap,
yeah.
boy. It was a wrap.
And what some of you might not know about Play is he was one of the originators of throwing house parties. A lot of people say they do that. He was doing that way before he even went to college.
And I, you know me, I'm gonna give kudos to my boys. It was a ball, on Colgate. That's where that started.
Yeah, Play was one of them
Yeah,
people. Like when he said he throwing a party, like it was a line of people ready to go into their party. Man, just old school, having a good time, no fighting. Hey, get show up, fly.
always gonna be a lot of honeys there. So as you
Hey,
said, ain't nobody trying to fight when it's a
hey,
room full of honeys, man. We trying to have a good
hey.
time.
Hey, so yeah, I just gotta give you your props. You was one of the originators, man,
I appreciate
of the
that.
parties, bro. So when you went down to San Angelo, it was just level up time.
Yeah,
Like, hey, man,
just had to make
hey,
my presence felt out there, like my boy said. So in my royal
yeah,
oats.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that made me think about shout out said Solo
Of
DJ Solo,
course.
man.
Of course. My big
That-
bro said, man, he the
yeah,
one
that's the
turned me on
fam.
to it. He the one
Hmm.
turned me on to it. Like, hey, bro, I'm kind of older. I'm not really in the college life, man. But these people reached out to me about having parties. I think you'll be dope. We did it. Like he DJ'd, I promoted it, and like I said, I brought Blackout along, and it was over. And by the
Yeah,
time, honestly, by the time the summer was over, they pretty much told me to run the club. Like, so it was whatever I wanted
yeah.
it to be. Yeah,
Man,
that
this
was a
made me think of
time.
that. Yeah, this made me think of that one time, man. I don't know if you remember, but we was down there. It was me, Melv, Serene, which is Destin for y'all that don't know who I'm talking about. Destin Nomad, and said we was going to down to the Depot District area, and there was only like an hour left of time, and it was this dude, man. It was this essay dude, and he was trying to fight everybody. But he wasn't trying to fight us initially. He was asking us for cigarettes. We go to a couple of different clubs, and then his last call, so it's about 2:30. We come out. He trying to fight everybody, bro. Whoever wanted to fight, he was trying to fight, bro. I don't know if we told you. I don't know how we was down there. I think we had a show or we was visiting or something. We was down there for something, man. I don't know if you was still there, but I don't know if I ever told you that story. But hey, he ran up on three or four different groups of people, bro. Just he was so lit,
That's
and it
tripping.
and the people that was with him was just letting him run up on people, and he ran up on me and Serene, man, and hey, he ain't, hey, man,
It wasn't good for
hey,
him.
it wasn't a rap, man. I didn't know because I had just down two of my little drinks back to back, so I'm thinking he talking to me, but he was, but I didn't say nothing. Serene was behind me. He said something. So all the dude knew was he just thought it was me. All I'm gonna say is it was a rap, bro. Like I sure thought you was there for that, bro.
I
Like
don't think so, man. But San Angelo Nights, man. That's
it
all
was
I can
like a
say.
movie, bro. I'm like, this dude took his shirt off and was like, "Who wants it, huh? Who wants it?" Just rolling up to different groups of people, bro. Like it was like a movie, bro. He was so drunk, bro. He didn't even know why he was mad or who he was mad at, bro. Yeah, that was time to be alive, man.
What
Like
a time, baby. What a time.
man, yeah, man.
So segueing into my last topic, I believe the other day when we was talking, you said you wanted to touch on something. I don't know if we've already touched on it or not, but if not, we can. But the last thing I wanted to touch on, because I don't think people understand how our relationship works, 98% of our conversations that we have is sports related. Is always sports. And what's crazy,
Yeah,
this my brother, I love him to death. He know that, but we rarely agree. It's
yeah,
very, very rare that we agree. And
yeah,
the conversations usually start like this. Hey, bro, you got hope you're not busy. You got a little time? Yeah, what's up? Hey, I already know you're not gonna agree with what I'm about to say. So I just wanted
yeah,
to let y'all know that that's how the conversation always start.
yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, we don't agree.
Hey, man, I had him so hot one day he had to hang the phone up. Yeah, to hate the phone.
We just be going about sports and
Yeah,
it don't be necessarily like just the sports. It be I won't say it because I know my grandma watching. She'll be mad, but he got this little three-letter thing that he used PAN. That's
oh
all I'm gonna
man,
say. He called a
PAN.
lot of people PANs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But so it don't be just the sports, like the outcome of games. Sometimes it be how
yeah,
people react to stuff, what people say, what other people say. So we always talk about sports
yeah,
grip.
yeah. And you know what? Yeah, I do got a list. It's called a PAN list. Pan. You figured out what that acronym means. You know what I'm saying? I need to update my list because it's a lot of buffoonery going on around here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the latest thing.
Oh man. I
Sometime
still
I'll
haven't got
tell
to watch
him.
that, by the way.
Sometime I tell him about something, and he like, okay, I gotta go check it out. And then sometimes he tell me like, hey, you didn't see that? I'm like, no, I didn't see that. Let me check it out. So, uh, he the only person that I know he gonna disagree with me, but I still gotta talk to him. I still gotta call him and talk to him, even though I know I'm like I ain't gonna change this dude's mind, but I gotta talk to him for them 20 minutes real quick. Anybody else, I don't even want to talk. If I know it's going, I just like, man, I just talk to him about something I know we'll agree on. But Tukey, I gotta call Tukey. I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, hey, man, let me holler at you, man. I know you gonna be on this guy's side, but man,
I told y'all that's how the conversation start.
yeah,
Hey, I already know you're not gonna agree
yeah,
or whatever, and then we go in, and I'll be like, well, so we as I
yeah,
said, 99%. I don't want to say 99, 90% of the time, we're not going to agree. We
yeah,
just not.
yeah. The stuff that's going on here lately, though. Okay, we had talked about the LeBron versus Stephen A. stuff.
Yeah, we
Me and
did.
him kind of saw each other's point of views on it. Um, but we were still strong on our opinion.
Yeah, we
Uh,
were. We were.
then it was this whole the Shannon Sharp stuff that's going on right now, man. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's just getting crazier and crazier. But I mean, of course, we don't know what really happened, but I'm just
Yeah,
under the belief. Maybe sometimes when you get power, it can change you, but I just think that if he was really on this type of time, multiple women would come out and say something.
yeah. I
Like for sure,
just
the Michelle girl would have said something. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So I mean, of course, don't nobody know. And if he really did do these things, obviously, hey,
yeah,
the worst thing needs to happen to him. But I just truly feel that it's a money grab. And somebody was like, well, why would he try to give her 10 million if he didn't do it? Because he understands once this comes out, two things. People gonna really know how he is. And two, no matter what the facts are, people gonna believe what they want to believe. So you
yeah,
get a 10 million so it won't come out. It ain't the 10 million because you guilty. It's that if I'm somebody finna give me 100 million, I'm not finna trick it off for 10. You know what I'm saying? If I could just give you 10 and nobody ever heard about it, so be it. But now she is out in the world and she might end up with zero.
yeah. And I don't know. They got the little phone conversation, which is like, so you was recording this dude back then, whenever that conversation happened. So that's wild right there. So I mean,
And at the end of the day, like she gonna need some type of proof to say that he really did it. Just because I say,
yeah,
hey, I'm gonna whoop you or something like that could be in joking, or
yeah.
you still gotta
It's just
prove I'm gonna
wild.
choke you when I see you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just think when they at that level, bro, just imagine if we got rich when we were doing whatever we was doing. People can say whatever, you know. That's why I
Yeah,
said it sucks to me
it's
because
wild.
it's real women that are being taken advantage of and raped or whatever the case may be. And so I'm not saying that she wasn't. I'm just saying that if she hasn't and she's making these allegations, that's pretty tough because we already know most women who play the system, nothing really happened to them. But the men still gotta be li- uh, remembered or listed. I don't
Yeah,
want to say listed, but people are going to question who you
yeah.
are moving forward.
It's one of the worst allegations a woman can say against a man.
Yeah,
Whether he's got money or don't got money. You know what I'm saying? Just the
yeah,
way the stigma that's put on you. people are gonna more likely believe it happened than not, and
Yep.
that's just the world we live in when it comes to certain things, man. And it's definitely gonna be a changing situation. It's gonna be an evolving situation, depending on how everything plays out. Which brings me to my next topic. Well, point. It got to do with your boy LeBron.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw. I didn't even see this until today. You know how he approached Stephen A. because he was Bronny dad. Whatever the case is, whatever it made him, the straw that broke the camel back, he approached him during that time out in the Laker game. Well, the boy Kevin Gates done said something wild about Savannah.
I saw it.
Like, wild, some wild, which we know Kevin Gates is infamous for saying stuff like that. But I saw a clip today where he was at the game
He
and
was courtside.
people was saying why you didn't accost him too, because that's more wilder than the stuff Stephen A was saying about Bronny.
And I
And
know we're
I
not going to agree probably again, but
and
I think I got a
I didn't
simple
know he was
solution
even at
to
the
it.
game, and I thought it was fake news at first until I saw Kevin Gates say it. Like I saw the clip of him saying that about his wife, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty wild." So I
I
don't
think it's
know.
a simple response. To me, to LeBron, I don't want to say to me, to LeBron James, Kevin Gates is so beneath him to even acknowledge it. That's why he said the comment about kings don't whatever with peasants. You know what I'm saying? He made the comment, so I don't think he was gonna ever address him because it's like, who are you, Kevin Gates? Like, you want
Yeah,
me to address you, so now it's a bigger deal than it is. Stephen A. Regardless of what people may think, he is at the top of the food chain.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So he has to address Stephen A. if he felt like that because I can tell LeBron. Just think about it. All the years people have said something to him, he ain't said nothing to nobody. But Stephen A. But he at the top. So that's my simple answer to that.
yeah. Because if he do approach him or would have approached him, then it's gonna snowball. But I
My just
mean,
my outside view.
yeah, I mean,
Now, say it was Jay-Z, I think he would say something. But once again, they cool, so it probably won't be. But I think that's the kind of level you would have to be at for him to acknowledge you publicly.
yeah, I mean, we know Gates done said something about Beyonce before. You know what I'm
Yeah, he just
saying?
be trolling. You know what I'm
He,
saying? Like
you know,
at this point, he just trolling.
I call him Mr. Enlightenment.
Yeah, because my
That's
thing is,
what.
who knows what happened with him and his wife or whatever. I'm not. We don't know these people, but my thing is, I ain't going from Drika to Brittany Renner. Like I'm
Yeah,
not. But once again, who knows what really happened with him and his wife?
yeah, but
But
you know,
I'm
it's
I'm
just
not doing that.
it's just like you can't throw stones if you live in a glass house type situation. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
for
saying?
sure. My thing is, I just don't understand the celebrities that just recycle these women and men. Brother, Earth is your turf, man. I'm going to find somebody that the local people might then ran through, but not none of my friends. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. I mean, who am I?
Yeah,
Who am I? I don't
that's
have those resources that they have because if I had those resources, there's no way I'm dating anybody that I know personally. No way. Or in my circle, it's no way.
yeah, yeah, that's crazy. So I guess we'll just see if the entertainment unfold.
Yeah, probably
maybe
not.
if it wouldn't be the playoffs, he really can't afford to have no kind of distraction like that going on right now. Really.
But not only that, just to be honest with you, like what he said about Kevin Gates, do you think if Kevin Gates would have went to the game, it would have even been news? It was only news because he said it and then he went to the game, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like if he don't go to the game, ain't nobody gonna be like, keep
yeah.
blasting it. They posted it the day he said it because he said it, but if he wouldn't have showed up to the game, like moving forward, we probably won't even hear about it.
Yeah, and it looked like Gates had that little smile, that little smirk on his
He
face,
did it
like
on purpose.
he was hoping
Yeah,
somebody would. He was looking for that confrontation. To me, I feel
yeah,
like he was ready for that.
yeah. It
You
was for sure.
know,
It was staged, whether he
yeah,
want to admit it or not. I
He
don't want to
not.
hold you too long, but I want to make sure that we touch on what you said you wanted to talk about, or no? Because yesterday, or I think yesterday, you was like, "Yeah, it's for sure something that I want to talk about," but we didn't really say what it was. You just kind of alluded to that.
Yeah, I kind of. Oh well, I think it was kind of about that conversation you had sparked on social media when you had
About
did a
the N
video.
word.
Yeah, the video response.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if I didn't. I don't think I commented on. I just kind of watched your comment, and then I just kind of sifted through the other comments of it. But man, I do agree with you on you saying. I do feel like we as a people reserve the right to use or not use their word in the manner we choose to use their word. And I don't think that's debatable. I don't think that it's up for debate. Um the only other word that is in the same realm is the B word to me because that's another dehumanizing word for a woman. You know what I mean? So it's like us telling a woman that she can't say that to her friends or she can't say this or say that.
correct.
Um, because that's really what the word was used for to dehumanize a woman and make her feel less than you, inferior, and it's might be different as far as gender and far as people, a group of people, but that directly correlates as to what I'm saying on we can't tell nobody you this and that with something that is used to demean them. If they want to flip the word and make it be whatever. I don't think it's up for outside people to say, well, if you don't want to say it, then either it got to be right or it got to be wrong. No, it don't. Like we as a people don't say other racial slurs in our music and to each other. We would never do that. So that's why it's not hypocrisy. When people try to say it's hypocrisy on our side, it's not because we don't do that to other races with racial slurs. Now I know there's this Asian rapper. I don't know his name, but he has started rapping using their racial slur like the N word is using our music. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna have to send
I'll
you a
look it
clip
up
of
though.
him. But he's using their racial slur in the way that the N word is using our music or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, then again, that's him doing that. Like you ain't never gonna see somebody from our culture use the racial slurs as a form of vernacular. You know what I mean?
And that
So
was my point too. Like you just touched on the number one thing that I was saying that's crazy to me is that one, people can try to say, well, if you can use it, I can. No, you can't. Like, because it's my word to use or not to use. But two, it's crazy that they would do that because 98% of the people that I interact with would never use their words ever. So like you said, like we would never go use those racial slurs or those things that dehumanize people. We would never use those words, like ever. But they
yeah,
think it's okay. And that's why I said I get it. As being a 40-year-old, I don't want to be the old grandpa, but I understand music has blended all the cultures together. I get it.
yeah,
And you feel like you can say that. But my point was if I'm the black person who the word is about or whatever, and we use it, and I tell you I'm not comfortable with you saying it, I shouldn't have to explain that to you that you're not supposed to use it. And two, I rarely use the word myself. So it just blew my mind that somebody was trying to basically tell me like, who are you to say that? Like what?
yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it just blew my
Yeah.
mind. So that's why I had to bring it up because obviously I live in El Paso. It's not a huge population of African American, Black, whatever you want to call, presence here. So for you to hear it everywhere you go, it's like, do y'all not
Yeah.
see me? It's like it's got to the point now to where I think people are just so comfortable with it, they don't even acknowledge that you even present. It's just like I'm gonna say the word and
Yeah,
forget it. It's like,
yeah,
damn, easy, hold up. So
yeah. And just like people choose to act like they're doing something subconsciously, but no, you're purposefully doing that. It's no way you're saying that word and it's subconscious. It's no
No,
way. We would never go anywhere in public and just refer to women as the B word just because, well, you just said, hey, B. We would never do that. Like, we already know the boundary. We already know the line. Like, you don't cross that. It don't matter if your wife is calling her friend that and you cool with her too. You better not say that. You can't address her as that. You know what I'm saying? That just is what it is. And it ain't no more debating. It ain't no more of that. You know what I'm saying? If she don't want to say that, she don't gotta say that, but you can't say it. That's just kind of what it
exactly.
is. You know what I'm saying? So
And that was the only
um
point I was making.
that's just a scapegoat for people that want to use it or think it's okay to try to justify it, and that ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, you know, people are made to feel like they can't stand on their beliefs and their convictions in this society. And we just can't lose sight of, if you're not saying to go out there and hurt nobody or go out there and discriminate against somebody, you got the right to stand on your convictions or your religious beliefs or your traditions. You know, you're not causing no harm to nobody else. You know what I'm saying? You're not taking food out of nobody else's mouth. You got the right to stand on what you believe the same way the other people is standing on whatever they believe. And I feel like the culture has really shifted to try to shame traditions.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to, you know, go with what is cool, what's popular, pop culture. What but I mean, I ain't one of them. I mean, I like
Me
to
either.
be
Especially, I got
acknowledged, and
morals and I'm standing on them.
that's it. That's it.
Like Big Perk, I'm standing on business.
That's it. That's it, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate you bringing me on the pod.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait for this episode to debut. We got a lot of more things in store for y'all. Tune in for that song, "Some Get It, Some Don't," Swiss featuring Tukey, aka Big
Yeah.
Play. It's gonna be the official theme song for the pod.
Yeah, we finna
Hope
chop
y'all
it
like
up,
it.
baby.
It's a cool little vibe, and I hope y'all, check it out. Again, Swiss and Beezy, SWB, Two of a Kind is out right now on all platforms. Ashley Love, go check her new album out. It's out on all platforms. My new album, Love Affair, will be out shortly. Stay tuned. It's a classic. So if you're doing music, you're doing R&B, you writing, you dancing, you podcasting, whatever your hustle is, you got a clothing line, support, man. Support everybody, man. Um, you never know if they in the beginning stages of their hustle. Support them. Somebody supported you when you was in the beginning stages of your hustle, man. You got to help support and encourage people to keep working and grinding at their craft, man. And that's just what it's all about.
But yeah, like you said, I sure appreciate you taking time to get on the pod. I know we talked about it a while ago. We just wanted to make sure it was the right time, get the schedules aligned. So we both had a lot of life going on. So obviously, as soon as I started the podcast, I already knew you was gonna be a guest, just
Yeah.
was when it was gonna happen. So
So,
thank you for getting on the Some Get It, Some Don't podcast. And it's so crazy because we got the song that we finna debut. For
yeah,
those who watching tomorrow, you will hear the little bit of it before, and then we gonna end it, with the full, song. So,
for
and as you
sure.
said, you get to hear your boy on there. So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now you don't
I
know
just
what you gonna hear, but you know your boy on the song, baby.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Oh, I do got a little announcement, man. I will be on the R&B Money podcast in 2 weeks with Tank.
Hey,
Now you know I'm lying.
hey.
You know I'm lying.
I like how you just said that so smooth too.
Hey,
Like
Tank, get
I
your boy
will
on
be
there,
on the
man, for
R&B Money
real.
podcast, baby.
Took, make that call, manager. Make that call. Let's make that happen, man. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
we're gonna have
saying?
to tag him when we drop this tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
They probably
Lord.
get a million tags, but it's okay. It
Yeah.
might be the one that just reach out to and they hear it
Yeah.
and see what's up. So
Real R&B, baby. Tank, look us up, man.
yeah, Jay Valentine, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, brother, I sure appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your night.
For sure.
I'm sure we'll talk before this week is over about something. Something gonna happen. I already know sports related or
Yes,
whatever. I'm
sir.
sure we'll chop it up. But thank you and
For sure.
much love to you, brother. You and the family.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
Bet.
book the car, can't forget to book the flight. Early morning, can't do late night. That's just not what I do. When I'm chilling with you, I'm somewhere new, where the water's blue. We only in town for a few nights. Popping that champagne, yeah, we gon' get it right. Big bottles of Ciroc on deck, you know that's me. Baby, what you wanna eat? Baby, I can pay the fee. Hit the casino tonight, maybe we hit it big. She hit the jackpot, all the women yell out, get it big. I fuck with you the long way, so just do what the song say. We got a non-stop flight, baby, we leaving the runway. Some get it, some don't. Some will, some won't. I told her pack light. We got a long flight. When we touch down, baby, gonna be a long night. Some get it, some don't. Some will, some won't. I told her pack light. We got a long flight. When we touch down, baby, gonna be a long night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a love affair. It's a love affair. It's what's in the atmosphere. What's in the atmosphere. Oh.
Yeah, this your boy Big Play. Y'all know Rivers in that Bay Block stuff. MMC, baby. And I know y'all heard what my boy Switch telling y'all. You can get with it or get lost. Some get it, some don't. Some will, some won't. You gonna be that one on the outside looking in? Girl, you know it's cold out there. Come on, get with us. Y'all know we live that real life. That's the rock star life. Y'all know me and Swiss, the kings of Ciroc. Yes, Lord.
Some get it, some don't. Some will, some won't. I told her pack light. We got a long flight. When we touch down, baby, gonna be a long night.